And welcome back to the Library Boxes of Trenton podcast, coming to you from Classics, Books, and Gifts. In the studio with me, I have Bart Jackson. And now we're going to be talking about one of his books. And we're not going to go through all the books that he's written just because there's too many. Too many. And we don't have enough time today. But I encourage you to check him out by going to his website, bartsbooks.com. This book, Behind Every Successful Woman is Herself. Bart, when you wrote this book, I know the intent was you wanted to speak to the executives or the women who are professionals. But let's talk a bit about it.
I think the main thing that women don't see in business is the power and the difference that they have. There's the marvelous thing about our makeup is that no two genders are exactly alike, and people forget that. And we went way back I stood way back in history. I followed Maasai warriors around Africa. At the end of when they settle down, the men all go out in a circle, and they're the protectors. This is age old, back to the Neolithic flint chippers. The women come together, they're the creators. So they all come, any work that the women do, they're the basic providers. So they set the house up, they do the weaving, which is where the cash comes in, they do the cooking, they set it up. So what do women have to require? They have this great consensual ability. They work very hard to get consensus. Meanwhile, the men are stationed out all around. They are the ones who, I'm alone, there's a lion. In fact, the Maasai rite of passage for the man is to kill a lion. And just like the rite of passage is to kill a bill for a politician. But that's another issue. The thing that makes this so interesting is that man out there is forced to stand out and make quick unilateral decisions. The women are in their own have to get things done, work with each other and make a consensus. Fast forward to today's business, by heavens, that's still true. When I took this book and was talking about it in India, every time, it was one of the first places I talked about it, every time I came, they had to rent a bigger hall. I came back to the States, and I had the same appreciation, and I kept wondering why. And what they said was because it's a man talking about women. And so they knew they were not going to get the two big things that normally come with women's books and people talking about women. Number one, they knew that it wasn't going to be, oh, poor sisters, you've been oppressed and beaten down by these evil, evil men. And they also knew that they weren't going to get cheerleading. Come on, sisters, you can do it. Yeah, yeah. Bull roar. Today's women are so far beyond that sort of thing. What they want is real, honest tips. And so what I did was, it's collaboratively compiled. I got the best women I know. I sat, I interviewed them. I got their ideas. We had 13 people, 13 top women give ideas. We had 80 contributors, men and women, I might add. And you know the real truth of it? All those things that tell you how to make your career thrive and your ventures flourish, 99.9% of them work well for men and women. But it's a matter of proclivity. That is, where you tend. For instance, guess what the odds are? You, man and woman, go into a venture capitalist. We pitch our ideas to get money for our new venture, our new enterprise. Guess what the odds of me, the male, getting it versus the female?
I believe the female's higher.
50-50, dead on.
Really?
But men walk away with 95% of the venture capital money. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and it's too complex to pin on one thing. But as one, Eileen Zathalis, a brilliant accountant, says, the trouble with women is that they don't know derivatives. Money means less to them because generally women have been less rewarded by that means. For me, the more, if I bring home a bear instead of two mallards and put it down in a pot, I get status as a man. Women have not, and same thing with cash. That happens with men, so men are willing to risk more for it. Women have been rewarded in many, many other ways and use another medium. It's not difference in skill, it's a difference in medium. So women, if I were to say the one thing that generally women need to know, they need to know to see money as a workable tool and how to take care of how to get it, and how to use it, and how not to be afraid of it.
Wow. Now, we're going to have to talk about this a little bit more
Sure.
as we talk about Behind Every Successful Woman is Herself, one of the books by Bart Jackson, and you can find out more on his website, bartsbooks.com. But, Bart, I want to talk about this business quips. And the reason why I like talking about the quips, I was fortunate enough to get Business Quips 101, which I actually have in my car. And literally, there's just a few hundred pages of these one-pagers for you to read, and it kind of gives you a little perk me up. So I'm going to read, let's go to 18. Hurting business folks. A business person is a bundle of whimsical, conflicting agendas wrapped in a fragile skin. A corporation is a collection of such bundles bound together within the myth of unified direction. Of unified direction. That's what makes working so messy so much fun. And Bart always has an afterthought. Teasing out the interests and inner drives of team members demands the peak of personal insight. It's surely not easy, but even a pond full of writhing salmon will, with the right motivation, all herd together, buck the upstream currents, and win through to their goal. If there's not a bear there that grabs it.
There you go.
So your personality is one that always interjects a bit of comic relief, so to speak. And you always, in my opinion, you take it to a position and a level where the average person can understand, but also the folks who consider themselves to be
Erudite.
yes.
Full of froth and great wisdom. The people who are up there on the scale, who are every other inch a gentleman or whatever. And well, I mean, part of it is, the great thing about humor is that you have to climb a 300-foot ladder, look down and get an overview, and then come back down and you make your comment. So, for instance, I'm out in our orchard and I'm looking at the thing, and it hits me as marketing. Marketing is the art of pinning pears on an apple tree and selling them as exotic. That was one of my things, and I got that. And so you go up and you come down, and so when we sit here in a group, and I say, bullying's a lot like a washing machine. It doesn't work unless you push the right buttons. What happens? We say that to a group of people, and everybody sort of chuckles and laughs and so forth and so on, and that brings unity.
Yep.
So I say, I mean, is our, so you're at one of these conventions and someone says, oh, is the CEO finished talking yet? And he says, God, he was finished half an hour ago. He just won't stop. Or our CEO says he believes in surrounding himself with people smarter than he is. Well, that's in his case. It's impossible to do otherwise. You say things like that, and everyone chuckles, and it gives a commonality to the herd, and it lifts all the fellow chain gangers at work a bit too.
Yeah, and I think that in our current business market, I think that we all know different types of personalities. I mean, like if we were to say, hey, earlier it was mentioned Bart Simpson. Well, yeah, everyone knows a Bart Simpson type of a personality, and everyone has probably met or knows a Donald Trump type of a personality. So I think that with our technology...
But you repeat yourself. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But with technology and so forth, I think that allows us to now say, okay, yeah, I know someone who is just like that. And I think that it's a great idea to use that as a tool to bring people together to talk about some different things. Now, I know we're going to be talking a bit more about Art of the CEO and CEO of Yourself, your latest book, but let's run through some of the others that you have that you don't have today.
Okay, I have one called So That's How They Do It. It's it's tactics used by business masters, and it delves back into some of our quick sayings like, if I had 9 hours to cut down a tree, I'd spend the first 6 sharpening my axe. That was Abe Lincoln. But the whole deal is, we take business leaders who have done something special and we tell what they did, and then you take the principle behind it. Sam Walton, and I heard this from one of his competitors, his early competitors down in Bentonville, Arkansas. They both had discount stores that they were running. Sam found a way to get toiletries if he, from about 1/3 the price, if he could make a 4-hour drive and then a 4-hour back 3 nights a week to do that after the shop was closed. Sam did. The other guy found out about it, but he said, I didn't want to make that trip. And then he sort of says, That's why Sam Walton's Sam Wall. You know, and that's where Walmart comes from.
Yep.
And that's just one. I mean,
yep. And as Bart was saying, yes, so Sam Walton, that is the Walmart family. So you think about these business principles and these different ideologies that you have to have in business. Some of the ones who are the most successful are the ones that go the extra step. And we're going to be talking a bit more about that later and some of the folks that Bart has interviewed on his radio program, Art of the CEO. But you're listening to the Library Boxes of Trenton podcast, coming to you the third Saturday of each month from Classics Books and Gifts here in downtown Trenton, New Jersey.